I mean, I'm not 100% certain how I feel about this. I mean, oh God, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not 100% certain. I'm not 100% certain on this. So if you'd have asked anyone, I think myself included, I said it on Redmen when we were going through and we were picking who we think would be sold, who we think could be kept, who we think could go out on loan this season. And I was dead set on Andrew Robertson staying. I was 100%. I think even if Kirkheads is coming in, even if you're bringing in new left backs, Andrew Robertson's vital. This is my mindset that I've had. Whether it's still there, I don't really know. I don't know. I can see the positives and I can see the negatives. And the more that I'm reading people's different thoughts, it's really interesting to see what people are actually thinking about this news because Andrew Robertson, for better or for worse, it looks set like he's going to be leaving Liverpool. The rumours, the reports, all the stuff that's going on at the minute is Atletico Madrid are apparently in discussions with Robertson, who is open to the move to La Liga. They appreciate Andrew Robertson. He tops their left back list this summer. Would you sell him? How much would you want for the 31-year-old? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be discussing this Andrew Robertson news because there's a lot to sort of dissect for someone who I was dead certain was going to be remaining at this club beyond the summer window. I was 100% positive. I didn't see the logic in selling Robertson, didn't understand what the thought process was. And to be honest, I still necessarily don't. And I might be looking at it with a bit of rose tinted spectacles, and I might be looking at it in a way that's sort of focusing more on what he's achieved and what he's done in the past, more so than the future. And I think that's a fair way of looking at it, as well as all the people who are looking at it and thinking, well, Robertson's past his best. He's clearly on a decline. The past 3 seasons, arguably, have not been great. Last season, in particular, was pretty poor to the point where Simicast was looking like the more viable option, and that was never even up for debate at some stage. Like maybe a year before, if even that, it was never up for debate who the starting left back was. It was always set that Robertson was going to be the main starter. I'm here's my thought process. So the thing that's annoying me about this is not the idea that Robertson wants to leave. If he's open to the move, this is his decision. He can do what he wants. He's well within his rights. He's earned that right to make the decision that he wants. And I don't think Andrew Robertson gets anywhere near the respect that he deserves for what he's achieved in the Liverpool shirt. Arguably Liverpool's greatest left back, debatably ever. Steve Nichols is up there. Liverpool don't have a very cherished history with left backs in our history. I'm going to lower a little bit. We don't have a massive history of left backs. You've got John Arne Riise. Of course, he's the best. But then other than that, you've got what in the Premier League era, you've got Alberto Moreno, Jose Enrique, Steve Nichols was there for like at the beginning. Like it's been a very sparse time, but Andrew Robertson for me represents one of the best bargains, one of the best transfer deals of any Liverpool player in the history of this club, in the Premier League, arguably. Like we're talking about someone who cost us £8 million from a relegated Hull City, who's gone on to win 2 Premier League titles, a Champions League, an FA Cup, he's won every possible trophy, and he's been one of the bargains of the Premier League era. And I think that the way that people are referring to Andrew Robertson and talking about him like he's this completely over the hill, done and dusted, useless sack of shite on the left back position is insulting. Andrew Robertson deserves his flowers. He deserves the right to be able to go out on his terms. But I'm not standing for this narrative that's been spun that he's completely useless, that he's just taken up a squad space. If you can't see the value of Andrew Robertson for what he brings in the background, that's absolutely fine. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know absolutely everything. Andrew Robertson probably should be moved on. If it's not this summer, next summer, definitely when his contract's running out. He should not be renewed. He should not go beyond them because it's clear he's on the decline. He struggled at major points last season against the likes of Saka, Madueke, Cunha, Tyler Dibling. All these wingers caused him fucking headaches. And I'm not oblivious to the fact that he is on the decline. But Andrew Robertson brings a winning mentality to this team. He brings a leadership quality that we cannot just dismiss. We cannot completely get rid of. As much as we've got Van Dijk, as much as we've got Mo Salah, as much as we've got Alisson and all these players who have been there, won that, got the T-shirt, Robertson is one of those key players. And while I'm all for the future and I'm all for bringing in Kerkez and looking to develop the squad and looking to move things forward, we also need someone who can give that extra layer of experience in the back line alongside Virgil van Dijk. We can't just say, right, Van Dijk's there, it'll be absolutely fine. Andrew Robertson is a leader in this team. He is one of the key components, or was one of the key components, of our 1920 Premier League title win side, the 18-19 Champions League, the 1920 Club World Cup, the Super Cup, the FA Cup. He's done so much and he's won every possible thing you can win in a Liverpool shirt. And people just look at him and see this over the hill. That's it. He's done and dusted. They're the same people who were upset when James Milner was leaving, because in their eyes, you know, he brings leadership. He's someone that should be in the dressing room. And I was one of those people. And that's what Andrew Robertson can bring. And I just can't get behind this narrative that he is a completely washed up, useless left back. I'm not having it. Andrew Robertson didn't have a good season last year. I'm not going to defend him for that because it was pretty arse. But you need people of his quality in terms of their characteristics, his attitude. He's given his 100% for this team every single day. And as much as people will sit there and say, well, Trent says he gave 100%, but he never actually did. No, Andrew Robertson genuinely gives 100% every time. If he struggles at points, I completely get it. It might look like he's on his arse, but he still contributes. He still has something to offer. And I'll go through the stats in a moment. I'll go through all this, but I just don't think that losing Andrew Robertson is the smartest of moves. If we can get a fee for him, that's a reasonable fee, I understand it. I completely get it. But I think Tsimikas has reached his ceiling. I think Robertson's on the decline. The only thing that tips Robertson ahead of Tsimikas for me is he's got that leadership quality. He is someone who can unite the dressing room. He's very important behind the scenes. He's a leader. He's won everything you can. And think what Kerkez is going to learn from the Scotland captain, from the man who's been involved in this golden era of Liverpool Football Club. There's so much to learn. There's more for Kerkez to learn from an Andrew Robertson than there is a Kostas Tsimikas. And if you said to me, who would you rather have out of those two? I would rather Robertson. I would rather trust Robertson in those big games against Tottenham, against United, against City, more than I would a Tsimikas. It wasn't even up for debate long ago, but because Robertson's had one bad season, slightly on the decline, which, by the way, there have been far, far worse players who have had worse seasons who have been able to stick around this club. But because Robertson's been clearly on the decline a bit, everyone goes, no, get rid of him. The problem you've had is he's played... Tsimikas this season has started 9 games and come off the bench 9 times as well. So that's 18 of the 38 matches. Robertson is played too much. He has ran his arse off for the past, God knows, 9 years, almost 10. He has ran himself into the absolute ground. You cannot expect him to give 150% season on season on season. The work rate that he put into Jurgen Klopp's team, the effort he made to get forward, the effort he made to get back, the work rate that he showed on a consistent basis burns you out. And Robertson has given his all to this club. And I cannot understand that because he is clearly on a bit of a decline, that we're so quick to go, right, fuck yeah, out the door, off you go. Not really too bothered. This is a true legend, this club. There are no left-backs in Liverpool's Premier League era who even come close to Andrew Robertson. As much, he deserves the opportunity to slowly phase his way out. And I'm a proper sentimental person when it comes to football. I understand that, and I am looking at this as what he's achieved and not what he's currently in and what he's going to be. He's going to be awful in potentially a year's time. But I want to see him get that farewell that Wijnaldum got, that Origi got, that Naby Keita got. Naby Keita got a better farewell than Andrew Robertson would be getting here. He's getting the Jordan Henderson, sold in the summer, off you pop, you'll get a nice video, bye, done, dusted. I don't want that for Andrew Robertson. I want Andrew Robertson to get that full-fledged goodbye at Anfield next summer. If he goes on a free, fine. What money are we realistically going to get for Andrew Robertson? Put in the comments now, how much do you think that Andrew Robertson would actually get? 15 million, maybe? Is that worth what we'd lose from him behind the scenes in that dressing room? A leader, someone who, like I said a billion times already, has won everything you possibly can. Think what Kerkez is going to learn from him in an attacking sense. 10 million, I've heard we're selling for, and I will get to all the comments. I always go through every comment. That's not worth it. You're sacrificing one of the great leaders in this current team, who is in that core inner circle of Alisson, Van Dijk, Robbo, Salah. He's been so integral for such a long period of time, and you're getting rid of him for 10 million. If he wants to go and he wants to move and he wants consistent game time, absolutely fine. I've got no issue with it. We saw what Kieran Trippier did when he went to Atletico. He won the league with them, got to play his brand of football, and then made a sensational return to the Premier League. Maybe Robertson wants that. But I just don't think, if this is us pushing him out the door, I think it's the wrong decision. I think you can get more money for Tsimikas. Tsimikas has already reached his level, and it's not even as good as Robertson. I just don't see the complete sense of it. Big up, hope you're well. I am, thank you. Sorry for the late one tonight, by the way. This is much later than I normally do. I've been in work. I finished work at 9. It takes me an hour to get home. I've got home, done this, basically said hi to the missus and then ran upstairs, and I feel very bad for that. My deal with Benson for Robertson would be Anthony Robinson for Fulham. I think he'd be the best left backup out there. The issue is he's going to cost how much? Like, Fulham aren't going to need to sell him. He's going to be expensive. And, is he going to want to be a backup behind Kerkez? Probably not. It's also going to cost a lot of money, like I've already said, and I'm very tired, so I'm sort of repeating myself. But yeah, I just don't think he'd be happy with that role. Not to mention as well, he's like coming up to his late 20s. He's not too far behind Simicas's age, and I'd rather Robertson. I'd rather Robertson's experience. I'd rather what he already brings to this team more so than what we think an Anthony Robinson could. I'm not dismissing Robinson. I'm in a bit of a passionate mode at the moment because I don't like the disrespect that Andrew Robertson's getting. I really, really don't get it. Never been fussed on Simicas. Look, Simicas does a job. Simicas was brought in when we won the league last time. We won the league in 1920. He came in that summer. His role brought in was to be the backup left back for Robertson, because we could see that Robertson was getting ran into the ground. And that's probably when his decline started, was like the end of the 21-22 season, when we were in all 4 competitions, and he was basically starting every game because Simicas was never even that good to begin with. I don't mind Simicas. I think he's a decent level. I think he could get into like your Brentfords. He could get into any of the promoted teams. Maybe a Palace, like that kind of level. He's a good set piece deliverer. He's great on a corner. He's great on a cross. But I just don't. I think there's a level to him, and there's always been a level there. He's just a backup, and that's what he's been brought in to do. He had good performances last season, but I don't think that's because he exceeded our expectations. I think that's just because Robertson was so poor at points that we've sort of met halfway, and you just couldn't differentiate the two. I'm not 100% certain on Simicas either. Who would you take as a Simicas backup if you sold him and Robertson? As in, if we sold Simicas and Robertson, who would I take? Do you mean Kerkez as backup if we sold both Simicas and Robertson? Who would I want? I like Tyreek Mitchell. I don't know why. I think he'd be a decent option. Arnau Martinez would be a good one. He's predominantly a right back, but he can play as a left back. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Tyreek Mitchell just as a decent backup option, but again, I'm not perfect. Arnau Martinez would be a really, really good one. He's really young. He's a cheap option from Girona. He can play as a right back. He can play as a left back. He's very good going forward. He's had some of the best attacking stats in Europe, I think, last season. He'd be a really good option for me. Gertruida, maybe, but again, he's predominantly a right back, centre back. I don't know how he'd fare on left back, to be honest. The issue is left back market's so sparse, I think, nowadays. It's a bit, there's not a huge array of options out there. Who is it that Arsenal are getting? Hato. Hato would be a good one, but he's going to cost you an arm and the leg, I think. Have you seen the news? Have you seen Robbo news? Same agent as the Robbo. Wouldn't shock me telling Robbo wine contract down. But the difference is, there's a big difference with it though. You've got Andrew Robertson. Sorry, you've got Trent on a contract which is getting ran down. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is one of the most valuable commodities in football now. Let's not even take all bias aside and all our opinions and everything that we think of the biggest shithead in football at the moment. He was one of the most valuable commodities in world football. You could easily get near 100 million for him because of what he can bring, his age, everything like that. It's just a contract. You run him down, he goes to Real Madrid. The difference is if he's saying to Andrew Robertson, right, run your contract down, fine, because I think he's by the time he leaves, he'll be in his like he's in his 30s now. I think is he 30, 31 near that mark, Robertson? Like by the time his contract runs out, great, it's time. It's time to go. I just don't want to see him leave now when we're still going through the transition. You can't lose too many of your key leadership role players in one go. And I know we've kept Van Dijk and I know we've kept Salah, but you've got reports of Alisson potentially like up in the air, even though he rejected Galatasaray, I think it was, that came out earlier on today. Like that's a big one. You just can't get rid of all these big players. You need them. You need them to transition these players in and then move them on. If his agent wants to say to him, look, in a year's time, let the contract run out, fine. Because we're not going to get a massive amount for Robertson anyway. It's going to be the same amount that we got for Kelleher. What are you using that money on? Like, we've proven this summer that money is no object, essentially. We're going to sell Nunez for probably 6 times the amount we'd get for Robertson. And Robertson contributes more to this team than Nunez does. I just don't see the point in selling him if you're wanting to integrate players like Kerkez and Frimpong in. Having someone with that leadership quality of Robertson is massive. That's why United did so well for so long, because they kept the integral part of the team around. Paul Scholes came out of retirement to contribute to those young lads coming through the team. You need people like that. You can't just get rid of Robertson and say, right, Kerkez, you've got Simicast as your backup. Why? Because all you're going to do is put more pressure on Kerkez to be in, game out, week in, week out. And when he drops out, Simicast is there. I would rather Robertson come in than Simicast behind Kerkez. I just do not see the logic in getting rid. And like I've said, if he wants to go, fine. It's his career. It's his decision. I want Robertson. And again, it's because I'm biased. I love Robertson. He's one of my favourite ever Liverpool players. I've got a thing for defenders. I love Robbo. But if he wants to go, that's absolutely fine. That's not a problem. I've got no ill will towards him. This is different from Trent as much as people are poking fun at it. It is just different. It's a different scenario. It's an older player. It's someone who's winding down. It's someone who's probably been told, look, Kerkez is coming in. You're not going to play as much as you think you're going to. And that's fine. That's a different situation. Trent being there, he was going to get guaranteed game time. He was the vice captain. He was a valuable player who's got sold for free because he ran his contract down. He was a local lad. I adore Andrew Robertson. I'd never want him to leave. But if he wants to go, that's fine. But I just don't see the purpose in getting rid of him for 10 million and sacrificing what he brings to this club behind the scenes. Vanderson, I think, from Monaco would be a decent backup. Let me have a look. Vanderson, I know who you're on about, but I just need to get his stats up so I can actually check what we're talking about. Give me 2 seconds just to sort of. I'm still streaming, casting the X screen, and I'm not even using it. Yeah, Vanderson Monaco stats. I mean, look, I'm just shocked. I did not think. I thought Simicast was going to leave because he's the one who's getting the most money for him. And I don't think Slot's a big Simicast fan. I've not seen anything to really make me look at him this season and think, you are dead certain to be here next year. I just don't understand what Slot's been seeing with it. But again, that's, I tell you what, Stan, wow. Give me 2 seconds. Share screen. Apologies for the shaky camera as well. I am trying to work on that. Those defensive stats are sick. Even then, the attacking successful take on, touches in the attacking penalty area, progressive passes received. How much is he going to set you back, though? Because that's a mental amount. Let's do I won't do League On. I'm going to do the top 5 leagues plus the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. So we'll go for the passing stats. Look, you're never going to match Robertson in terms of passing stats. His passing stats this season, Robertson, are still like up there with the best. That's not even up for debate. Who else is that? What's the other one? Defensive. So pass types. A lot of crosses, 2.47. Throw-ins. Well, yeah, throw-ins is what they are. Goal and shot creation defense. Wow. Okay, so this is just for left backs in the top 5 leagues. The problem you've got here is this seems like someone who screams out to me that Real Madrid would probably be interested in him or buying. Like this is calling to a big team who'd be desperate for someone like this. He's not going to come to us and be a rotation with Kerkez. He's not going to have that because he's clearly good enough to be his own starter in any team, yeah, not a chance. I look if this is an ideal world, get Vanderson, sign him up because that's clearly someone who can get a lot of great performances in him. But he's probably going to cost you an arm and a leg, and I don't think he's going to be happy being a backup. I don't get why our fans we should get saying we should get Hernandez. He is washed. He is nothing like he was 2-3 years ago when we Liverpool Football Club, not Man United. Why is the only one I can think of Javier Hernandez? What are we? Who are we talking about? Sorry, I don't get why fans are saying we should get Hernandez. Why can't I think? I'm messaging the thing because I'm having a real problem. Atletico hoping we get him for a free or a nominal fee. They'll get him for a nominal fee. They're not going to get him for free because if these reports are to be believed, he's not going to be here for another year. But again, 10 mil, it's not worth it. It's not worth us losing what Robertson brings to this team. I just don't see the logic in getting rid of Andrew Robertson for that. And to add, the lad wasn't supported Liverpool and he said he could leave us. Yeah, exactly. Trent said he would never leave. Robertson said, look, I want to be here as long as I can. He's not backed himself into a corner. I was dead certain he was going to go to Celtic, Robertson. I think he said that years ago. He said he wanted to go to Celtic. That was like his dream club in Scotland. But they've signed Tierney now from Arsenal again. So maybe that was in the pipeline. Maybe because Tierney's contract ran down. So maybe for Celtic, there was a talk of, look, we'll come in for Robertson. But then they've signed Tierney. So maybe Robertson's thought, right, well, shit, I've got nowhere to go now. So Atletico it is. A lot of players we want to move on with the World Cup next year. It's not guaranteed game time. Scotland aren't in a great position, I don't think, to even get in the World Cup. I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. I'll have to look that up, to be honest. Because the thing is, Robertson he's the captain of Scotland. He's gonna play for Scotland. There's no way he's gonna get dropped for that. He's their captain. So maybe we should ask for Alvarez for free. This is a big thing because obviously Robertson's being linked to Atletico Madrid and Nunez is as well. So maybe there's haggle room. You can have a left back and a striker. We want your Alvarez. I'm happy with that. Yum yum. If we can make that work, I want Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez is a dream signing. Oh, Teo Hernandez from Milan, of course. Of course, of course, of course. I get what you mean about the United thing. It screams of like when they signed Rafael Varane, but you know, the issue is I don't know. Liverpool are bidding big, but I think we're bidding big for the future. You've got Frimpong, who's early 20s, Kerkez is 22, Verts is 22. We're not going to sign someone of Teo Hernandez's age. That's not going to happen. It wouldn't be a bad signing. I think if we were to sign a player of that ilk, the sort of established, experienced player, like when we signed Thiago, we'll have done our homework. The issue is Thiago was so injury prone. It was like playing with a half broken biscuit. Whereas Teo Hernandez maybe would be a great shout, but he'd just be expensive in wages. And again, I'd rather sign more long term. I don't know. Napoli believe Liverpool favourites to sign Victor Osimhen. They don't want to sell to Juve. Osimhen. Maybe, yeah, you know. The only thing that puts me off Osimhen is the attitude. He's got such a bad attitude by all accounts. And I think wage-wise, he's astronomically high. Let me just double check this because if we can, I don't know. Just give me 2 seconds. Victor Osimhen. Oh wow, yeah, that Napoli. Yeah, let me stream that. Stop screaming there. Present. Share screen. So, Napoli believe Liverpool are the favourites to Victor Osimhen and are unwilling to sell to rival Juventus. I get that bit. I understand that Juventus isn't, they're not going to give him to a rival, obviously. The Italian league, they've got a history of it, teams in the Italian league, but losing Osimhen, and you know that if he goes to any team in your division, he's going to rip it apart. I don't know. Osimhen is... I don't know how to put it because I know he's a good player. And for some reason, I keep thinking he's older than what he is. Whenever I hear about Victor Osimhen, I always think he's like in his 30s or something, but he's not. He's actually a year younger than me, and that makes me so sad. Oh, 28, man. Yeah, he's 26 years, 167 days. So let me get his statistics up. It'll have to be over the past 365 days again because I don't believe I can get the Turkish league based on this scouting report. I can't because last season he was at was it Galatasaray he was at last season? Yeah, Galatasaray. So let's get his stats up here. This is based on other forwards over the past 365 days. So I'm going to present this on the stream Victor Osimhen scouting report. There we go. There we go. We're getting the hang of this. I'm very proud of myself. His majors are mad. He thinks he wants the same as what Verts is on, which is 22 million a year. The thing is, Osimhen's. It's not that he's not earned it. Like we're talking about one of the most lethal finishers in Europe, and I'm pretty sure he was in the Napoli team that won the league. Not this time, but I think a couple of years ago or something. I'm really struggling at the minute with getting all this stuff together. I do know all this stuff. I swear, I'm just so out of it at the moment. Yeah, Osimhen is a rough diamond with thread and balls. But the thing is, though, he's clearly someone who is a terrific goal scorer. But we've got to understand that these stats are going to be a little bit inflated because he's been playing in the Turkish league, which it's no disrespect to the Turkish league. It's the highest form of competition. But you can see there he's getting 0.92 goals per 90. Shots total 7.32, which is in the top 1% of. This is across all of Europe's top 5 leagues, by the way. This is all 5 of the major leagues, so Italy, Spain, England, Germany, France, and then you've also got the Champions League, Europa Conference League, and the Europa League. This stacks up against all the other attackers who have been in that, and you can think of like Salah and Gyökeres. There's a million other strikers that this is being compared to, and that's how he ranks. His shot percentage is ridiculously high. His average shot distance is in the top 1%. He's someone who likes to get very close to goal. This is the stuff that worries me, though. This is the thing that really does stress me out. Now, when we had Darwin Nunez, when we had Jota playing, particularly against like Real Madrid and Tottenham, and I was doing videos for that, the average positioning of those was often deeper than the likes of Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai. Like, I'll get a thing up now. Sofa score. If I was any good at this, I would have had all this lined up already, but I don't, which is awful of me. But this is the stuff that does bother me. It's Osimhen's passing because Slot clearly wants someone up front who isn't just your finisher of the ball, but someone who can link up play. Or that's what we've seen so far. So let me just get the Liverpool. And then I will get all the fixtures. Not now. I don't want to fill out a form now. Go away. Results. Here we go. So, what's a good one to do? I do. I'm going back a bit here, but I am going to go to the Real Madrid game because that's the one that's coming on the top of my mind. Leipzig, Brighton, Leverkusen, Liverpool. There we go. Real Madrid, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. I can get the lineups. There we go. Lineups. And then we'll go down and we'll go to the average player positions. Right. This is going to be a pure zoom in job. I'm just apologizing for that now. Where are we? Stop screaming there. Present, share screen. That one. So, in more reports as well. Atletico Madrid hope to sign Andrew Robertson free or for a small fee. Isn't that what we said? Didn't someone say that earlier on? Look, if you're going to get him for free, you're going to be waiting a year. I'm fine if you want to wait the year because that's when I wanted him to leave anyway. But it's like Darwin Nunez there is the deepest of all the attackers. He's deeper than Curtis Jones. He's deeper than Luis Diaz. He's definitely deeper than Mo Salah. Slot wants his attacker to come deep. He wants someone who's going to come like a false nine. He wants someone who's going to go back, who's going to receive the ball and distribute it to the likes of Salah and Diaz and Gakpo. He doesn't just want someone who's going to constantly run in behind. That's why Nunez didn't do it too often. That's why he struggled, because he didn't get presented with opportunities on a plate. He had to come deep and try and make things happen. He had to pass it off and then run into space, because that's what Slot wants. He wants tap-ins. He wants it easy, because that's the way everyone does nowadays. Osimhen's problem, the big issue I've got with Victor Osimhen, is purely his passing. Because it's all well and good saying, well, yeah, he's going to be on the receiving end of it. He's going to get onto the end of the balls. He's going to be running in behind. So Vert is going to put balls in behind to him. But he has to play off to others, because there's also Mo Salah. You've also got Luis Diaz. You've also got Cody Gakpo. You've got all these other attackers around you who are going to be scoring as well, who are going to be trying to make things happen. You can't just become the focal point. It's not going to work. He needs to be ready to distribute the ball. And those stats do not fill me with any confidence whatsoever that he's going to be someone who can operate in the role that we need. As a finisher, I've got no worries whatsoever of Victor Osimhen. The shoot improves it. Like, look at that. He's in so many of the top, like, 10% for these metrics, top 1% for a lot of them. It's purely the passing. That is an awful pass success rate percentage. That's short. Then you've got medium, which is okay. Long is awful. We need someone who can give and go. And it is give that's really worrying me. He could be terrific on the end of it. He might be able to run in space, but I'm not 100% convinced that he's what we need for this club. Not to mention he has got supposed attitude problems. I don't know him from Jordan. And he's also going to be on high wages. Like someone said, he's going to be asking for the same as Verts, which he's warranted. He's a top level player. But for the fee that we're giving him, I want someone who's going to be perfect for the system. I want like a Julian Alvarez, maybe an Isak, maybe an Ekitike. I don't want an Osimhen with attitude problems, which is going to rub people up the wrong way, high wages, and a play style which we have to change everything around him to suit what he needs, because that's not what I want in an attacker. I want someone who's going to benefit the system more so than someone who we have to change how we play it entirely up front to get the best out of him. I don't need that. Liverpool don't need that. Verks, Osimhen, Salah, like the Mane, Firmino, Salah, maybe. But again, I don't know. I'm not 100% set that he's just the type of player that I would want. Wonder if Robbo just changed name to Andy to Madrid. Yeah, it'll be Andy 14. Bollocks. Trent 14 is a shit. Shit brand. TAA 14. It sounds like a Terminator name. The T800, and then you've got the TAA 14. Wanker. Utter bedlam. That's just the amount of rage those Duolingo lessons caused. It's I'm amazed the app didn't crash. Like, that's mental how much drama that Spanish lesson taught gave the Liverpool fan base. I went ballistic watching him sat there with the gall to just I only wanted this for like a month or two, but he speaks better Spanish than fucking Del Bosque does. It's ridiculous. And I cannot believe that we fell for it like the way we did. It utterly makes me sad. And this is a thing, like, Trent got his farewell despite the fact that he was leaving on a free and all the drama and the booing and the controversy. Robertson deserves his farewell. Andrew Robertson deserves to come out at Anfield, be given the plaque, be given the Guard of Honour, be given the full love and admiration of this fan base, because Andrew Robertson deserves it. Trent deserved it. But Trent fucked us over. Andrew Robertson's not done that. He has ran it. As much as Trent will sit there and say, I gave 100% every single day, did you shit? Robertson did. Robertson has. Robertson would now. Robertson could be in his 40s and he will still be pushing himself to the absolute limit for this club because he dies for it. Trent doesn't do that. Robertson does. And I think he needs the farewell and the adulation of the fans to really. He needs that on the last day. He needs that at the end of his contract. If Atletico want to get him on a free, fine. Give us our farewell to Andrew Robertson, though. I think he deserves that. Seen Trent running back in train today. Never done that for us. No, he fucking didn't. Didn't do it against United. Hasn't done it since. For the strikers who we're interested in, our order for them, our target list should be first Isak, second Alvarez, third Osimhen, fourth Ekitike. I would swap it Ekitike and Osimhen, but yeah, they are the four. Do I think any of them are going to come? Alvarez, I think this Atletico Madrid thing could genuinely sway Alvarez. I think this could genuinely be our way in. You say to Atletico, look, we're going to give you a left back and Nunez. Maybe give him a fee as well. That's a big, that's a big sway for Atletico Madrid, a club who they're very thrift, very shrewd with their business. They're very smart. They're willing to come over to England and get the exports that they do. Obviously, we saw it with Kieran Trippier, Tom, Tom Gallagher, fucking hell, Conor Gallagher. Andrew Robertson would do great in a Diego Simeone system. I really, really do believe it. But if they want Andrew Robertson and Darwin Nunez, I want Alvarez. I want Julian Alvarez. I would kill for Julian Alvarez to be in this team. He's the perfect fit as someone who can operate as a false nine, but also someone who's able to run in behind. That's a dream. Alvarez would be perfect. I did a video on it on my channel if anyone wants to check that out. Isak could be number one, but he's just going to be too expensive. Alvarez, we've got wiggle room here. Ekatike is great, but he does feel like he's going to be a bit of a long-term plan. Osimhen, attitude and wages, just the passing range. They're the things that really put me off him. But I wouldn't cry if we signed him. I just don't want another Balotelli situation where he's an arsehole. I can't be bothered with that. We're drawing Real Madrid in Champions League next season. We get them every season. At this point, I'm shocked if we don't get Real Madrid. When was the last time we didn't? Obviously, we got them this season. Season before, we were in Europa League, so we couldn't play them. Season before that, 22-23, was that when Madrid knocked us out? Or was that... No, it wasn't 21-22. 22-23, they knocked us out of the competition. 21-22, we met them in the final. 2021... We didn't play them, but we lost to Atletico Madrid. 1920 was... No, sorry, 1920 was Atletico Madrid. Was 2021 when Madrid knocked us out in the knockouts? Was that long ago? Shit. I hope not. Oh my god, this is going to stress me out. I've started my own game. So hang on. We played Madrid this season. Last season we were in the Europa League. Season before that was 22-23. Did we play them? I can't remember 22-23. Who knocked us out of the competition? Who knocked us out in the Champions League in 22-23? 22-20, 21-22 was when we played them in the final. 22-23 was... Can't remember. That's a blank. I feel like I'm doing survival series from Wrestle Talk, which I really want to start on my channel. We got knocked out 2021 by Madrid. We did. Yes, we did. 1920 was when Atletico Madrid knocked us out. 18-19, we didn't play them. 17-18, obviously, they beat us. And then before that, we played them in 14-15 as well because we got beat at Anfield 3-0 and the Bernabeu 1-0. Because that's when Colo Torre did that fucking wonder one. And yeah, 22-23, they did because Nunez got the back heel. I remember now. Yeah, so we get Madrid every season, essentially. This was just my opportunity to be a bit of a football dork and try and remember things properly. But yeah, the 5-2, of course, because Nunez got the back heel and Salah got the first, I think, and then they just absolutely rinsed us from then on. But we get Madrid every season, so we're going to get them. It just always does. Big like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Please just like and subscribe, everyone. It really, really does help out. Like, subscribe, repost, super chat, all of it. Just any of it helps out massively, so I really do like it. Yo, Jack, mate. I think that's what someone else in the comment. Did you see 12 saying you watched Madrid win 3 European Cups? No self-awareness, 2 runners watch. He talks shite. 3 European Cups in a row. You were in the final for one of them. Utter bollocks, man. Because Bellingham, that's why Bellingham went to Madrid, because he watched us get beat by Madrid in the 21-22 final. So that's why he went there. Utter shite. I'm crazy. Me, I'm staying up till 2 a.m. to watch this Club World Cup tonight to watch Messi. Yeah, the Club World Cup starts tonight. It's nice. I mean, I don't want anyone to win it of substantial quality. I want City to go far so they're shattered, but I don't want them to win it. It's nice to have football in between because I'm bored and there's no Euros. I'm an England supporter. I love watching England play. Bar when we play Senegal, that was awful. But there's no World Cup, there's no Euros, there's nothing like that. So the Club World Cup, this new format, it's too many games. Footballers need a break, but it does break it up a little bit. We lost 3-1, lost 1-0, and 3-1-2 finals. We got knocked out Madrid. A lot of comments for the Madrid thing. Yes, I know you are. Don't worry, I remembered now. McAllister just called Ramiro the best centre back in the world. What do you think? No. It's just as simple as that. But I suppose it's his teammate, isn't it? It's Argentina. He's his club captain. I suppose he's look. Ramiro is top quality. I will not deny that. I think Tottenham have a real gem, and if Atletico again, they're after him. That back four is going to be ruthless next season. I'd take Romero at Liverpool. Don't agree with the sentiment, but I understand why he said it. But he's not. We know who the best centre back is. It's Saliba. I'm kidding. Calm down. Um, when do you think Wirtz will pass his medical? So he's on holiday at the moment. He's due to come back. I think it's in a couple of days. The problem is they've said he's on holiday until next week, and I don't know if that means like Wednesday or Friday or Monday. It could be Sunday. I don't know, but next week is when the medical is. So in like 2 days' time or a day, depending on what time you're watching this. For me, it's 11:30 on a Saturday night, and this is what I'm doing. Fun. I love doing this. I'm so happy that I'm doing this. But yeah, it could be Monday, it could be Sunday, it could be Friday, it could be where. I don't know. But it's next week anyway. That's what Fabrizio reported. Hopefully, it just gets done ASAP. I can't wait now for preseason. I really, really cannot wait for preseason. I want to get tickets to the day where they're doing 2 games in a row back to back. I really, really hope I can sort that. That club becomes a farce. You've seen players getting own personage reductions. What is this wrestling, mate? Look, I'm agreement. It's too many games, and I miss the fact that I like. I'm grateful though that we won this competition in 1920 when it was just in December, and we sacrificed the League Cup because we had to. Utter sham that, but yeah, I'm happy that teams are going to be shattered and we're not involved. City can cry and whinge about it all they want. That's a them problem. It is a farce though, this whole thing. It is proper money. Shane McMahon, give me money. I'm gutted that we missed out on Reinders. Yeah, I look, City have swooped them up. And there's this whole thing at the minute where they've spent how much in total? The same amount that we've spent on Verts, and they've been able to bring in Aiton Yori, Reinders, and Cherky. Fine, absolutely fine. Well, Tottenham brought 7 players in with Gareth Bale's money, and that went to shit. So fingers crossed it goes that way. I'm going Athletic Bilbao. I might actually see you then if I go. If I can go. It depends if I get tickets, like 35 quid a pop. But you get 2 matches out of it, so maybe. If I go, happy to. City Chelsea legs will fall off by December time. No rest at all. Completely agree with that. I wanted to know if you would pay 50 million for Romano. 50 million. If Canate is going, then yeah. I see no reason to. If we can sell Canate, if he's like, so I don't want to sell Canate for Romero. I think Canate is better. But my thought is, if Canate wants to leave, if he does decide that next summer he wants to go, regardless of what's happened, if he wants to go PSG and he's going to run his contract down, and he wants to leave, sell him. I would happily have Romero. The only problem, again, it's similar to Osimhen, is his attitude. He has got a bad one. He does get sent off a lot. He got sent off against Chelsea, I think it was. I think he's been twice. He has got that in him. But we're talking about a World Cup winning Argentina captain, someone who's comfortable on the ball, someone who's great on the air. His injury record isn't terrific, but I'd have Ramiro. Just don't break the bank for him if that was a thing. It only works if you get rid of the jamming. If you do the first bit, it works. If you say the full Benjamin, it doesn't quite work. I know what you're trying to do. It's not going to be another Willy thing like yesterday. I'm not falling for it. It's been forgotten City spent 200 million in January by certain people. City fans in particular seem to be forgetting that they spent that much before they start giving us shit. Imagine if Roger gets injured in this Club World Cup. Look, I don't want injuries on anyone. I'm not going to wish it upon people, but if it happens, it happens. If anything, I think he'd be one of the ones who isn't going to get it because he's essentially rested now. He'll be the one of the few. It'd be someone like a Haaland or an Ake or something who's going to get it. Yeah, maybe if you want Gate, not a problem. Do a collab or something. I'd happily do that. Happily do that. Not a problem at all, mate. Genuinely, I'd be more than up for that. Should be an interesting season coming up. I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm over the moon that this is the transfer window we've had. I cannot wait to get into July and August. I cannot wait. Seriously, so excited that this is the position we're in. Just I want it to be 25, 26 now. I just want it to be that season. I'm so ready. We've got Frimpong and Kirkes and Verts just to start this window. I cannot wait. It's going to be interesting. City have massively strengthened. They're going to be a threat again. I really do think. United are still in the mud, but you've got Tottenham now under Thomas Frank. Chelsea seem to be going strength, strength. Arsenal are going to get stronger. Villa, Newcastle holding on to Isak. It's going to be a difficult season next year. And I think the quality of the league is going to be at an all-time high. I think the points boundary is going to go back up to that 90 mark. I think it really is going to push the boundaries again of the Premier League. We will be there when 12 gets absolutely destroyed by Yamal and their fans turn. Yep. Oh, it's Trent. It's Trent 12, isn't it? This is just how little I give a shit, to be honest. TAA 12. It's hot. Yeah, no, when he gets ripped apart. And this is the thing that I tweeted the other day. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, if no one does. I try and post there, but I'm pretty awful at it. This is the same fan base who booed Gareth Bale. This is the same fan base who chanted for Kylian Mbappe when Eden Hazard was getting unveiled. They will boo Trent out the door the second things go to shit. That is just what's going to happen. The minute he starts putting in half-assed performances against Jamal, if he struggled against United this season against Rashford, he's going to shit the bed when he has to come up against someone like a Yamal or a Rafinha. He's going to utterly shit his pants. And the Madrid fans are going to boo him the minute they realise he defends like a condom with a hole in it. It's not going to work, and he's going to be out as quick as he came in. Not my concern. Do what you want. Bear with me. There's a comment. I tried. You did. Thank you. I can't stand the idea of losing Robbo. He's heart and soul for LFC. Incredible player. My favourite player. But if you can make a deal that is best for him and his family, Godspeed. Best left back for years. Best left back in Liverpool's Premier League history. He's up there with Risa. Enrique was okay. I didn't mind Enrique. Moreno was panned. Steve Nichols was like right at the end. We've had a lot of left backs. We had Fabio Aurelio. I loved Fabio Aurelio for a time. The goals he scored were terrific. The thought of losing Robbo for 10 million, the leadership that he brings and what he adds to the back room and what he brings to this team as a whole, I don't like it. I don't see the benefit. I don't see the logic. I don't see the rationale. I'd rather keep Robbo and just he can integrate Kirkes. He can integrate Frimpong. He's a key component to this team. He's in the leadership group. He's someone I would have tipped for vice captain, honestly. Like, he understands the fabric of this club. He is, when you think of Liverpool as a person, Klopp was one who you think of. I think of Robertson. He's loud. He's brash. He'll give us all. He's honest. And I love his personality. You've got Darwin Nunez there who doesn't speak a lick of English hardly, and you've got Robertson cheering him and shouting him and getting him so involved, and I love that. I love someone like that in this club because you need people like that. I don't want to see Robertson leave. I adore the man so much. If it's the right deal for him and he wants to go for game time or money or his family, by all means, he's earned that privilege. But I want him to be here next season, leaving at the end on his contract and getting the farewell that we gave to Firmino, that we gave to Thiago, Wijnaldum, Naby Keita, Origi in recent years. He deserves that because he's been there from the very start of the Jurgen Klopp era. Like 2017 is when he joined for 8 million from Hull, and he's gone on to become one of the best left backs in Premier League history. He's won every trophy. He's been an integral part of it. He deserves to get that fairy tale ending at Liverpool. Who would you take for the centre-back position, which we're supposed to be buying in? Hato's the number one target for me. Other than that, I'd love a Mark Gahey. I think Gahey would be a terrific one from Crystal Palace, but again, he's going to cost a fortune. Anyone else, really? I mean, Gertruida, if we're going to play him as a centre-back, fine. With the option of making him a long-term replacement. Yeah, they're my main ones. I hate being on the spot. I really struggle. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, a Gahey or a Hato are my two main options. A Bramthwaite wouldn't be awful, but again, it's Everton. You've got to try and factor that in. They want Ben Doak. I'd do it for a Bramthwaite. Jared Bramthwaite, I'd happily take him from Everton. That'd be a comical transfer. United at the back, apparently they bought Cunha. Well done. Like, terrific. White handkerchiefs out when he's up against Jamal. Yep. I can't lie, I'm fed up of being linked to this Inacio guy. I wish someone just buys him already, whether it's that or someone. Inacio is one of the best centre-backs. I can't believe he completely slipped my mind. Yeah, he's been terrific. He would again. It cost a lot of money, but Inacio is you're getting what you pay for. One of the most talented young centre backs in Europe from what he's done at Sporting. And oh no, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Ignore me. I got him and Hincape completely mixed up then. But yeah, no, Inacio would be a terrific one. But I think that's more of a if you want Canate to go full time, that you want his full time replacement, it would be him. Same with Hincape, they're both the same. Uh, I'm so ready for the season. Adidas is back. The sign's coming in, going to be a skin. Really want that elite green fur kit. I love a green kit. Having green kits are great. Corner taken quickly in Madrid turn today. Good for him. Fucking cracks are all you want. Who do you think we get first game of the season? I tweeted the other day. I think it's going to be Fulham away. I don't know why. I've got a weird inkling about Fulham. I don't want Fulham away, but there's something about it in my mind. I've seen people say that we're going to get a promoted team because I'm doing another one of my memory games now. I'm trying to go back for who we've played each season. Do not spoil it in the comments. I'm going to try my best. So this season was Ipswich. Last season was Chelsea. The season before that was so that's 23-24. I'm already at a blank. Was it Norwich? No, it wasn't. I'm already at a blank. I've already hit a wall. It's Fuck's sake. 23-24. Well, 22-23 was Fulham because that was the Nunez game. 23-24, that it was clock. Oh, sorry. 23-24 was Chelsea. 24-25 was this season. That was Ipswich. So Ipswich, then Chelsea, then Fulham, then 21-22 was that one Norwich? I think that was Norwich. 2021 was Leeds. 1920 was Norwich. 18-19 was West Ham. 17-18 was Watford. I don't know. I'm spiraling now. Everyone's setting me off on like a weird like football memory tangent. I go back further. I just don't want to bore everyone. So many things. Alan Kennedy. Alan Kennedy's a great shout. Yeah, Alan Kennedy's a terrific one. Don't forget the new fixture out Wednesday. Who would you want first? Who I want first is probably one of the promoted teams at Anfield. Absolutely dick him and get things off in the right direction. But I think it'll be Fulham away. I really, really do think that's just in my mind. Who would you prefer? TK or João Pedro? I don't want to say because that might get me cancelled. To be honest, I love João Pedro. I think he'd be amazing as a false nine. Norwich Leeds. I have a funny feeling it's Sunderland the first game of the season. Everyone says that. Everyone's saying Sunderland at the minute. It might be, but it just seems like a too obvious thing. Norwich home, Leeds home. Yeah, I'm determined to do this now in my head. I don't know what. I just everyone's that give it a go, give it a go. So it was Ipswich, Chelsea. Then it was Fulham, Norwich, Leeds. 1920 was Norwich because it was the day before I was going on a holiday. And then 18-19 was West Ham. 17-18 was Watford. 16-17 was Arsenal. 15-16 was. It was 15-16. That was Brendan Rodgers. I was going to say Southampton, but that was 14-15. Who was 15-16? It was Benteke's season. We had Arsenal in the first game. Was it Stoke? It was Stoke because Coutinho scored that goal. Stoke. Then it was 14-15 was Southampton. 13-14 was Stoke because we beat them 1-0. 12-13, 12-13. Don't know. Going in my own little tangents. Ignore me. I'm going to shoot in a second as well. I didn't realize I've been going on for this long. Yeah. Same here. I think it's going to be Sunderland. Yeah, it could be. I want Arsenal United first game of the season. The Arsenal one would be great. We never get those big getting Chelsea. Even when we got Chelsea like 2 years ago, that felt huge. We never get those big teams. Arsenal was 16-17, and like after then, it's been like smaller, not smaller, but you know what I mean. Teams that have been promoted or teams that are like due to be relegated or something. Before then, I mean, we've had Arsenal twice, I think, on open days, but we played Middlesbrough in like 2000 and or like no 1997. We had Crystal Palace one year because we beat them like 7-0. We tend to get the smaller down teams. That just seems to be a thing that happens with us. We never really get the big ones in the first fixture. I'd love a Merseyside derby on open day. I think that'd be class. First five: Sunderland away, Arsenal home, United away, Chelsea home, Palace away. That's a fucking horrible first run of games. I do not want that whatsoever. None of that, thank you. West Ham for the third game in 15-16. Yeah, so was that the first game, 15-16? Did we? I thought it was Arsenal. I thought we drew because we got a 0-0 draw with Arsenal. Then I'm going to have to look this up. 2015-16. I thought it was Arsenal on the third day of the season, 2015-16, because we drew. Well, that doesn't help. That's a blank screen. That does not do me any favours whatsoever. There we go. 2015-16 Liverpool Football Club. So in the order, the opening day of the season, it was Stoke. I was right. It was Stoke because we got Stoke, Bournemouth, and then Arsenal was the third one. We drew 0-0. And then after that, we got absolutely dicked by West Ham and Man United because that was the Anthony Martial game. But yeah, the Arsenal one was third, that one. West Ham was the fourth game. That was the loss. The first game was Stoke because that was when Coutinho got the long ranger. And that's when he started suddenly becoming a good, like he was good anyway, but that season he absolutely twatted it. Because I think that was the season where we played Bolton. We played Bolton in the FA Cup and he scored the screamer in that. And we played, was it Southampton? Or was that the following season? I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, we played Southampton one time and he scored a screamer against them. But anyway, I'm getting completely distracted. It's always in October. It always is in October, and the other one's always in February or December or something like that. Not sure. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of Andrew Robertson potentially leaving? Who do you think we're going to get on the first game of the season? Yeah, that was a terrible game. We got beat 3-0, and that was at that game. Terrible game. I had a random ball guy sleeping on my shoulder on the bus home. He probably drank himself to death. 3-0 against West Ham. That was a woeful, woeful season. And you know what? I love doing these streams on the current things that are going on. But like you guys know, I love doing the past on these shows. I love talking about Liverpool's past. I love talking about the season. That's why I do the season reviews and like things like that, like games where I'm just going backwards season by season. It's just a bit of fun. I want to do streams where I talk about things like that and get people's views on seasons gone. If you want to see stuff like that, let me know in the comments because I'd love to do things like that. But I am going to shoot because I've already gone on for this far too long. I didn't even mean to be on this long. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, see you all in the next.